Hey, Baron. Coach Washington was talking a little bit about sort of the things that the team has done in the absence of being able to put pads on for a while to make sure that they were in the right place to come out and tackle the way you need to this fall. Just what did that entail for you, and what are you getting out of it, and what do you think the rest of the linebacker group is getting out of that?
I kind of missed the beginning of the question because I was walking over to the chair. So can you please repeat the beginning?
Sure. Coach Washington was just talking about that before you guys had been able to put the pads on, that they were doing some different things to sort of prepare you to be able to tackle the way you need to this fall. Not you, the whole team. So I guess just what did that entail, and what did you feel like the team got out of that?
I feel like we were just able to work the smaller details of tackling and really like key in on just the whole approach to tackling and just take time really to walk through a lot of things and make sure that we weren't making some of the errors that I feel like that's been like showed over this first few weeks of college football.
And it's sort of what role are you playing right now, and what do you think that means for what you can do in 2020?
I mean, I've been playing on the outside and I've still been playing on the inside here and there in certain packages. So I feel like it's just allowed me to show my versatility that I can rush, that I can cover, I can play inside the box, and I can play outside. So I'm excited.
All right, next up we'll go with Jeremy Birmingham from Letterman Row with Tim May on deck. Jeremy.
Hey, Baron, how good is it for you guys to have so many players that can move around? I mean, the defense obviously changes every year, and the roles everyone's playing are different every year. But having so much flexibility, how has that changed what you guys can do defensively?
Well, I think it just can put guys in different roles, like from Pete going to Sam to Will, or from me going to Mike to Sam. And I feel like it really just helped us show our versatility that we're more than just one-dimensional linebackers. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Is there one of the younger guys, Cody or Mitchell, that you see like filling into a role that's really that he could step in and play this year from what you guys have seen, or is it still too far with the depth that you guys have?
I mean, I haven't really seen much of Cody yet, but as far as Mitchell, he kind of reminds me a lot of he looks so much like Malik Harrison and Josh Perry and all in one build. I'm really excited to see what he do, and he's getting better every day.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Up next, Tim May from the Tim May podcast. Tim?
Yeah, here I am. I had to find my unmute button. Sorry about that. Baron, I was just wondering, with all the guys that are back on this in this linebacker room, and especially, with Pete and Tuff and stuff, do you feel guys getting almost impatient? They want to get on the field, you know what I mean? Because those guys have been around for a while. Just what is the dynamic like in the room of guys who are kind of paying their dues but still kind of waiting to get on the field on a regular basis?
I'd be a liar to say they're probably not frustrated because, I probably would be too. But I just feel like, everybody doesn't understand they just have to pay their dues, that even some of the upperclassmen, myself included, went through it. And I feel like everybody just kind of using it as the opportunity just to keep getting better. So when it is their time and that number is called and, we talk about competitive excellence in our program, they'll be ready. And I also feel like just with that extra year of eligibility, that helps out too a lot for some guys. So some guys might not as be as, impatient. So.
Yeah. And one other thing, what have you noticed that, that under the Kerry Combs defense, obviously most of the other coaches are back, but what do you think is going to be slightly different this year? I know you don't want to give away secrets, but what is just like a sense of what could be a little bit different compared to a year ago with the defense as a whole?
I really don't think it's going to be much of a change. I mean, Coach Combs just brings a lot of energy. I mean, Coach Combs has got his own type of swagger, and the defense, we love it. We react to it very well. So I think everybody's just excited to get going for the first game.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Up next is Austin Ward from Letterman Row with Bill Rabinowitz on deck. Austin.
Baron, I feel like I've asked you this probably every year of your career, but you've talked about your ability to play all over. Has there ever been any frustration for you that you haven't just got to play in one spot?
I mean, yeah, I feel like it'd be normal to have that frustration, but I mean, that frustration, I can't let it get in the way of my development as a player to get better every day. So, you have to put your emotions to the side and control your emotions. So I think that's something I've done a great job of getting better at and just focusing and trying to get better every day to help the team any way they need me to.
For those of us who haven't ever, played at the level that you have, like, I guess the sense is that if you move around and see different responsibilities, that you were never able to just focus on one thing. But is there also, I mean, I guess, have you taken it as a positive that you've seen so many different things and shown different ways that you can play, and that might pay off more in the long run anyway?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, when I was a young guy coming in, kind of being new into that whole mic world, I was a little frustrated with being in a new position I never played before, especially, coming in thinking I was going to play outside. But, I adapted and I grew over in that role, over the last 3 years, and it's helped me a lot to see the bigger picture of the defense. So I feel like now making a switch to outside is a lot easier on me because I know how the guys around me work.
Up next is Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch with Colin Hasshill on deck. Bill.
Darren, do you feel like outside is the more natural position? Do you feel that you're better at it? And if so, why?
I mean, I just feel it's my more natural position because, that's what I played in high school, for a majority of my high school career. So, I mean, that's just what I was natural and used to playing. So it was just different coming in playing a position where there's more responsibilities, lining guys up, just something I wasn't used to. So, I just had to adapt. But, I mean, yeah, I just think that's my natural position. I feel very comfortable there.
Okay. And with you and Justin and Tuff and Pete, I mean, that's 4, not even counting the younger guys. How you're obviously going to mix and match. That's what Al Washington says. How comfortable are you with, if you're not an every down backer, but you're 2/3 of the time or half the time or whatever it might be based on situations? How do you think you and the other guys will deal with that?
I think we'll deal with it great. I mean, we kind of do it every day in practice. So, I mean, you got to understand there's a lot of great other players on this team. So, everybody has to get their time. I feel like, I feel like that's what being a teammate is, you can't hog it all. So I don't have no problem with that. I know the other guys don't have a problem with that. And when we're not in, we're coaching one another up and, trying to give the other guy corrections or things we see they might have did wrong. At the end of the day, we just helping each other get better.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
And next up is Colin Hasshill from 11 Warriors and Bill Landis on deck. Colin.
Hey, Baron, how many more personnel packages do you feel like you guys have this year than maybe you had last year? It's something that both you and Coach Al Washington have referred to today.
I don't know. I guess we just have to see when that first game come around. I don't know.
For you personally, I just wonder how many do you feel like you're going to have significantly more pass rushing opportunities this year? Or is that something that you just don't quite know yet?
I think I am. Yeah, I think I am. But like I said, I guess we just have to see when that first game come around.
All right, Bill Landis is up next with Patrick Murphy on deck. Bill, go ahead.
Hey, Baron, when you talk about moving around, playing inside and outside, are you doing any of the stuff that Pete got to do last year with some of his coverage responsibilities and even kind of rotating back to safety sometimes? And if so, how do you think that kind of fits your skill sets? Because I don't know if that's something we've seen you do a ton of yet.
Yeah, I'm doing some of those same similar things, and I think it just shows that I'm versatile and that I have range, and that I can especially with me just being able to run solid on the sideline, just that I'm just a pure athlete. That there's not one position you can just label me as. I can fit in anywhere, whether that's outside linebacker, stand-up rushing, or middle linebacker.
And I'm interested in your perspective on this as a linebacker, of what you've seen out of Trey Sermon so far through the practices that you've had.
I mean, Trey Sermon's a great running back. I mean, he has great pad level, great balance. I mean, he runs hard. I mean, it was just the first day of pass, so it was really hard to say, give you a whole rundown of what I've seen over the majority of our practices since we wasn't in pads. So, but for the first day, I thought he was great. I mean, he run hard, he hit the hole, he's explosive. So I'm really excited to see what he do come around when the first game comes around.
Thanks.
All right, next up is Patrick Murphy from 247 Sports with Tony Gerdeman on deck. Patrick.
Aaron, given the veteran group you guys have, I think it's 7 upperclassmen at the linebacker position, how much are you guys taking on a leadership role of this defense?
We taking on for a majority of them. I mean, we one of the most veteran groups out of all the position groups, so we kind of carry that weight proudly. And we, if there's something underneath our standard that we see that we don't like, we address it immediately. And like I said, we carry that role proudly, and I think everybody respond well to it. Even the younger guys that's an opposition group, they kind of see that, their time is coming too for them to step up and be leaders. And I feel like they do a great job of kind of correcting the young guys too. So.
And Coach Washington said Tuff has tried to be more vocal he's always been a lead by example guy, but this year as a senior, he's tried to be more vocal. How have you seen that? Do you have an example of something he's done or something that has kind of shown that vocalness from him?
Yeah, I can recall the other day in practice, we gave up a big run. He called up the defense, and he just, just reminded us that's not our standard. I mean, he's definitely been trying to step out of the shell of being reserved and speaking more. And I think guys are responding to it well. Great. Tuff is a great leader.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
And next up is Tony Gerdeman with Buckeye Scoop with Clay Hall on deck. Tony.
Aaron, everybody knows about Justin Hilliard's injury history. I think much of that happened before you even got here, but can you just speak to the persistence that you've seen from him in your time here, and I guess what that does to just drive others?
I feel like Justin's a definition of a true warrior. I mean, a guy who's had the injuries he had, I feel like it'd be easy for anybody just to give up and call it quits, but he's just always found a way to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, even when, that finish line, he couldn't even see it. So I'm very proud of Justin. I'm proud to have him as a teammate. I mean, I'm just really excited to see what he can do this year, just being fully healthy with the opportunity that he has this year.
All right, next up is Clay Hall with WSYX with Joey Kaufman on deck. Clay.
Yeah, Barron, what do you think is the common denominator of every great linebacker? Is it run? Is it hit? Is it instincts? Is there one thing?
I mean, I feel like that common denominator is the same just with at least for us, our standard of football and defense, the first things first, we got to stop the run. So I feel like any great linebacker has to be able to stop the run, play his gap. And then from there, we talk about reacting to pass seconds. So that's just my quick thoughts. And of course, you have your other things like, does he have instincts? Can he run sideline to sideline or whatever other, I guess, coaches look for. But I feel like every linebacker is different. Every linebacker does something better than another linebacker. Tuff does some things greater than I do. I might do some things greater than he can do. I feel like just everybody's different, so it's hard to just try to pinpoint one thing you might want out of a linebacker.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Joey Kaufman from the Columbus Dispatch with Spencer Holbrook on deck. Joey.
Barron, you guys made strides and improved last year as a tackling team. It seemed like tackling was a lot improved last year. How do you think you guys will fare in tackling this season? Obviously not being in pads for much of the offseason. How do you think you guys will do tackling-wise in 3 weeks?
I feel like the goal is to always get better at anything you do. And, I mean, of course, we haven't really been in pads. So I feel like the emphasis is 10 times higher now since we haven't been in the past because we know we haven't really had the opportunity to tackle this much. So we really, like I said, putting the emphasis on tackling this year. And we want to be even better tacklers than we were last year. We feel like we kind of had a little bit of drop-off at the end of the year last year. So we don't want to have a drop-off this year. So like I said, we're putting a real big emphasis on it this year. And we're just trying to get better every day.
All right, next up is Spencer Holbrook from Letterman Row with Dan Hope on deck. Spencer.
Barron, as a linebacker, how are you guys balancing switching all these positions, finding roles for everybody, finding ways to get everybody on the field, and also worrying about, the little things, not just tackling, but your drops in coverage and things like that. How do you guys kind of find a balance in that? Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Where is that at?
I feel like that's kind of why we put a big emphasis on guys just knowing more than one position, so we can get like a lot of guys on the field as possible, or even guys in different roles, just so everybody can play. And I mean, every day we work on what you said, our drops and stuff. So we got to keep the little things, and I think that's one thing we do a great job of doing.
All right, last set of questions for Barron will come from Dan Hope from 11 Warriors. Dan.
Hey, Barron, it sounds like both you and Justin are playing that Sam linebacker position primarily. Just how do you feel like your guys' skill sets complement each other?
I mean, I feel like we both are explosive players. We both have great instincts. So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of just like looking in the mirror and seeing yourself. So it's pretty cool, when he's in there watching him make plays, or when I'm in there and he's watching me, and vice versa. And like I kind of made a statement about earlier, like when one of us is in and the other's not, we're just coaching each other up and trying to see things that we could do better in certain, instances. So I think it's pretty cool to be playing the same position with him. Because at the end of the day, iron sharpen iron. We're just making one another better.
How do you think it changes the defense if Pete's playing at that will position and now you're playing at the Sam?
I really don't think it makes too much big of a change for real. I think it just allows, our versatility to be shown more. Pete's a great linebacker. I mean, very instinctive, like Coach Wash said, he's physical, so I feel like it just allows him to show that he can play inside the box, not only outside. And I feel like it's allowing me to show I can play outside, not only inside. So I feel like it's just kind of helping both of us.
All right, Baron. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Thank y'all. Have a good day too.